You almost threw it in the trash. That rusty wrench sitting in your garage? Someone just sold one exactly like it for $1,100. Sounds crazy, right? It's true. Today, we're counting down 10 rusty tools hiding in garages right now, worth way more than you'd ever guess. One of them might be 6 feet from where you're standing. Before we go further, drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from. Chicago, Manchester, Sydney? I read every single one. Stick around, because the tool at number 7 surprised even me. Let's start at number 10. The crescent wrench. You've seen one, everyone has. Silver metal, adjustable jaw, that little worm gear on the side. Most people find one in a drawer and toss it in with the loose screws and dead batteries. Big mistake. Crescent wrenches made before 1960 used a thicker steel than what's sold today. Companies cut corners over the decades to save money. The old ones didn't cut corners. They were built to outlast the guy who bought them. What actually matters here isn't the wrench itself. It's the marking on the jaw. Flip yours over right now if you've got one. Look for a patent date stamped near the base. Early patent dates, especially anything from the 1920s or 1930s, push the value way up. Rust covered the whole thing when a Texas man dug it out of his late uncle's toolbox last year. The jaw barely moved. He almost pitched it. Instead, he cleaned off just enough grime to read the stamp. Turned out to be an early Crescent Tool Company original, patent marked, in rare working condition. He listed it as is, rust and all. 2 days later, it sold for $1,100. That's not a fluke. That's exactly the pattern we're chasing on this list. Old stamp, working parts, original finish. Don't clean it up too much either. Collectors want to see the age. A wrench scrubbed shiny loses half its charm and half its price. Here's your checklist. First, the jaw stamp. Second, does the worm gear still turn smoothly? Rust on the outside is fine. Rust jamming the mechanism is not. Third, check the handle for cracks near the base, where most of the stress builds up over decades of use. Brand matters here too. Crescent sits at the top, but keep an eye out for Diamond Caulk Horseshoe Company and J.H. Williams as well. Both made adjustable wrenches in the same era, and both get overlooked because the names aren't as familiar. Size matters more than you'd think too. A tiny 4-inch adjustable wrench, the kind that looks almost like a toy, is actually rarer than the big 12-inch versions. Fewer were made, fewer survived. Collectors specifically hunt for the small ones because most people assumed they were useless and threw them out decades ago. If you've got a rusty adjustable wrench sitting in a coffee can or a bottom drawer, don't write it off as scrap metal. Flip it over, read the stamp, check the size. That 5-second look could mean the difference between the trash bin and a few $100 in your pocket. Number 9 is next, and this one's easy to miss because it doesn't even look like a tool at first glance. Number 9 is a tool that barely looks like a tool. The humble hand-crank drill press, the small tabletop kind, not the big floor model. You've probably seen one at a flea market and walked right past it. Cast iron base, small crank handle, a chuck barely bigger than your thumb. These were sold to hobbyists and jewelers back in the early 1900s for precision work too delicate for a regular drill. Most got scrapped for metal during the World Wars. Steel drives went out looking for anything with iron in it, and small tabletop tools were an easy target. What survived is rare simply because so little survived at all. Might as well see what it's worth, an Oregon woman figured after grabbing one at an estate sale for $4, tucked under a workbench and covered in cobwebs. Turned out to be an early Miller's Falls jeweler's drill press, fully functional, original crank intact. She sold it to a specialty tool collector for close to $300. Quick pause here because I want to ask you something. If you're finding value in this, hit subscribe now. I post new finds like this every single week, and you don't want to miss the one that might match something in your own garage. Back to the checklist. Check the base for cracks first. Cast iron is strong, but it's also brittle, and a dropped drill press often cracks right where the crank meets the frame. Next, spin the chuck by hand. It should turn smooth, not grind or catch. Last, look underneath for a maker's stamp. Miller's Falls, Goodell Pratt, and Champion Blower and Forge all made versions of these, and each name carries slightly different value depending on the collector you're talking to. Size actually helps here instead of hurting. Bigger versions of these small drill presses are rarer, since most were made small on purpose for delicate work. If yours has a taller frame or a wider base than what you'd expect, that's a good sign, not a bad one. Watch for this though. Some of these got repurposed over the decades, missing their original crank handle, replaced with something makeshift. That kills the value fast. Collectors want the original mechanism, gears and all, not a modern substitute bolted on as a fix. Number 8 is where things start getting interesting, because this next one fooled even experienced collectors for years. The brace, that big wooden hand drill shaped like a crank you turn with your whole arm. Most people see this thing and think, Grandpa's antique, cool to look at, worthless otherwise. That assumption is exactly why so many good ones slip through estate sales for almost nothing. It's not the age that matters most though, it's the chuck mechanism. Early braces used a simple square chuck that only fit square-shanked bits. Later designs added something called an alligator chuck, a spring-loaded jaw that could grip round shanks too. That small mechanical shift changed everything for collectors. $2 for a box of rusted fencing tools. That's all an Ohio man paid at a farm auction, and the brace tangled inside wasn't even the reason he bought it. He almost didn't keep it. Turned out to be a rare Spofford pattern brace, one of the earliest styles ever produced, with the chuck mechanism fully intact and working. He sold it to a tool museum for close to $1,400, from a $2 box he barely wanted in the first place. This is the point on the list where the real money starts showing up, and it's not random. Braces sit at a strange intersection. They're old enough to be historically interesting, mechanical enough to fascinate engineers, and rare enough now that clean working examples barely show up anymore. Run through this list to check yours. First, the chuck style. Square chucks are older and often more valuable, especially pre-1870 designs. Second, the head. The round wooden knob you press against your palm while turning. Original wood, not replaced, matters enormously here. Third, the sweep. The curved metal frame itself. Look for a maker's stamp near the chuck or along the sweep. Names to watch for include Spofford, Barber, and the Ultimatum brand made by several English toolmakers in the 1800s. Ultimatum braces in particular can sell for thousands when found complete, because the ratchet mechanism inside was genuinely ahead of its time. Most people miss one more detail entirely. Check inside the head knob if it unscrews. Some braces hit a small storage compartment there, similar to the egg beater drills we talked about earlier. A brace, with its original bits still tucked inside that compartment, is worth significantly more than an empty one, sometimes double. If you've got a big wooden crank drill sitting in a barn corner or leaning against a shed wall, take 5 minutes with it. Check the chuck. Check the stamp. Check inside that knob. This is exactly the kind of tool people walk past every single day, right before someone else picks it up for pennies and cashes in big. Number 7 and 6 come together, because once you understand one, the other clicks fast. First up, the humble bench vise. Not the giant shop version bolted to a workbench, the small clamp-on kind you'd find on an old woodworker's table. Most folks see rust and old paint and figure it's headed for scrap. Grabbed for $3, meant to be a doorstop, that's how a bench vise nearly ended up ignored in a Georgia man's garage instead of a collector's shelf. Turned out to be an early Athol Machine Company vise, swivel base intact, jaws unworn. He flipped it for $260 in under a week. Check the jaws first. Original swivel base vices with a working lock lever carry real weight with collectors. A rusted exterior means nothing if the mechanism still moves smooth. Look next for a maker's name cast into the base. Athol, Parker, and Reed all made versions worth chasing. Skip anything with a cracked jaw plate though, that kills the price fast, no matter the brand. Now, number 6, the block plane. Smaller cousin to the full-size hand plane, built to fit in one palm. Size actually helps here, which throws most people off. The smallest block planes, the ones barely 3 inches long, are rarer than the standard sizes because fewer got made and even fewer survived without getting lost or tossed. Wrong drawer entirely, tucked inside a grandfather's tackle box, is where a Wisconsin teenager found one that didn't belong there at all. It was a low-angle Stanley block plane, an early type, blade untouched. He sold it through a specialty forum for $315. Check the blade angle first. Low-angle versions handle tricky wood grain better, and collectors know it. Then check the sole for flatness. A warped sole drops the price no matter how clean everything else looks. Last, check the adjustment knob on the back. Original knobs are usually black or dark rosewood. A mismatched replacement knob is an easy tell that parts got swapped somewhere along the way. Don't judge either one by size. A 3-inch plane can outsell a full workbench of scrap metal, and a rusted little vise can beat a fancy modern one at auction every single time. 4 tools down, 6 left to go, and trust me, the next one on this list surprised buyers so much it made local news. Number 5 is the one that made local news, and it's not even a fancy tool. It's a plain handsaw, specifically a Diston handsaw, the kind with a decorative medallion set into the wooden handle. Most people see a rusty blade and toss the whole thing without a second thought. That's the mistake collectors count on. Flip the handle over and look at that medallion. Diston changed the design slightly almost every decade, and those small changes are basically a fingerprint for dating the saw. A blade that's pitted or even snapped in half doesn't matter as much as you'd think, either. Some collectors want the handle alone. During a barn cleanout last spring, a retired teacher in Vermont almost left a broken hand saw behind for the scrap crew. The blade was snapped clean in half, the handle coated in dust. A local antique dealer spotted it first, recognized an early medallion pattern, and the story ended up in the town paper after it sold at auction for $920. Broken blade and all. Check 3 things here. The medallion pattern first, since that tells you the rough decade. The handlewood next. Applewood and beech are common, but rarer handles show up in walnut, and the etching on the blade, if it's still readable, since manufacturer etchings faded fast, and a clear one adds real value. Now number 4, and this is the one I mentioned earlier that fooled even me. The wooden level. Not the aluminum ones from the hardware store, the old, solid wood kind, with brass fittings and a glass vial. I assumed the wood mattered most. It doesn't. The brass does. Specific brass inlay patterns, sometimes called brass-bound levels, separate a $20 level from a $1,000 one almost instantly. Wrapped in an old moving blanket, forgotten for years in the bed of his father's truck, a level sat untouched until an Idaho contractor finally unwrapped it. Solid mahogany body, heavy brass plates along both edges, a maker's stamp reading Stratton Brothers near the end. He figured it was decorative at best. It sold to a specialty collector for $1,100. Brand recognition matters heavily here. Stratton Brothers sits near the top, alongside Stanley's early brass-bound line and the Davis Level and Tool Company. Check the ends of the level first for a stamped name. Then check the vials, the glass tubes holding the bubble. Cracked or missing vials hurt value less than you'd expect, since replacements exist. What kills the price fast is a warped or cracked wood body, since that can't be fixed without destroying the original piece. 2 more tools left, and the next one might be sitting closer to your front door than your garage. Number 2 might be closer than you think. The Plumb bob. You've seen this little brass or steel cone hanging from string, used for finding a perfectly straight vertical line. Most folks find one tangled in a toolbox and assume it's some odd fishing weight. It gets tossed in a junk drawer for years, sometimes decades, without anyone realizing what it actually is. Old plumb bobs, especially solid brass ones with a removable tip, carry serious weight with collectors. That removable tip matters more than the shape or the shine. It let carpenters swap points when one wore down, and most got lost over time. A bob with its original spare tip still intact is rare enough that price jumps fast. 3 plumb bobs, tangled together with old fishing line, sat inside one machinist's tackle box in New Jersey, forgotten for who knows how long. 2 were plain steel, worth maybe $15 each. The third was solid brass, stamped with the name Starrett along the base, spare tip still screwed into place. That single one sold at auction for $480. Check the base first for any stamped name. Starrett tops the list here, followed by Stanley and Miller's Falls. Next, check for a removable tip. Twist gently at the bottom point. If it moves like it's designed to unscrew, that's a strong sign of value. Weigh it in your palm last. Solid brass feels noticeably heavier than plated steel, and that weight difference alone can tell you which pile it belongs in before you even check for a stamp. Don't ignore the string either. Original braided cord, even frayed, sometimes matters to purists chasing complete, untouched sets. Replacing it with new string is fine for actual use. It quietly lowers the sale price if you're planning to sell it as is. Now, number 2, and this one hides in plain sight better than anything else on this list. The wooden folding ruler, not a tape measure, the kind that unfolds section by section, brass joints connecting each piece. Everybody assumes wood is the valuable part. Wrong. It's the brass extension slide that matters most. The small hidden ruler that pulls out from inside one end for measuring depth. Most examples had that slide snap off or jam solid decades ago. Ones where it still slides smooth are what collectors actually chase. Ever leave a tool in your glove box for 20 years? A retired plumber in Kentucky did exactly that, using it constantly for quick measurements on job sites without a clue what it was. Turned out to be an early Stanley No. 68 extension slide, fully functional, boxwood body in solid shape. He sold it for $290, purely because that slide still worked. One tool left, and it might be the most overlooked item on this entire list. Number 1 is the most overlooked tool on this entire list, and honestly, the one that surprised me most, too. The claw hammer. Not a rare model, not a fancy design. A plain, ordinary claw hammer, the kind sitting in nearly every garage in America right now. It's not about the head, it's about the handle wood. Old hammers used hickory almost exclusively, and hickory that's aged 80 or 90 years develops a grain pattern and density modern hickory simply can't match anymore. Combine that with a maker's name stamped clean into the steel head, and suddenly, a tool worth $2 at a yard sale becomes something else entirely. Headed for a donation bin, already boxed up. That's where a claw hammer sat before a neighbor's eye caught something on it. A widow in North Carolina had been clearing out her late husband's garage when it happened. A small oval stamp near the claw read Estwing, an early production run. Solid steel forged in one piece instead of a separate handle and head. She'd been about to give it away for free. Instead, it sold to a collector for $730. $730 from a hammer headed straight for a donation box. Check the head first for any stamped brand. Estwing tops this category, especially early solid steel models. Stanley and Plumb follow close behind. Next, check the handle material. Solid hickory, tight wood grain, no cracks running along the length. Last, check the claw itself for wear. A claw that's rounded smooth from decades of pulling nails actually adds character collectors like, as long as there's no visible chip or break. Don't repaint it, don't sand it smooth. Collectors want to see honest wear, not a restoration job. A hammer that looks untouched by time, rust and all, beats a shiny one every single time in this specific corner of collecting. This whole list comes back to one simple idea. Value hides in plain sight. Not in some rare, exotic tool locked behind glass somewhere. In the ordinary stuff. The wrench in your drawer, the hammer by your workbench, the saw leaning in the corner of your garage, waiting for someone to actually look twice. 10 tools down, and I'd bet good money at least one of them is sitting somewhere in your house right now, gathering dust, waiting for someone to check the stamp, the wood, the mechanism, before tossing it out with the rest. So there you have it. 10 rusty tools worth way more than you'd guess. Go check your garage tonight, flip over every handle, read every stamp, and drop a comment below telling me what you found. I answer every single one, and your find might be next week's video.